the breast center in terms of let's get you through this and let's basically hold your hand through the process.
Yes, so basically, once you get your diagnosis from Dr. Margaret Clark, I am the first point of contact. So I will reach out to a patient and start the navigation process with scheduling, not only with general surgery, but with medical oncology and answering any questions that the ladies may have or any concerns at our initial contact. I mean, just try to get a feel for where they're at and how we need to adjust their care plan.
Yeah, yeah. Dawn, with what you do, then you and Deb are going to have basically the first conversations about how to follow the treatment course for any given patient, and it's personal too, isn't it?
It really is. We work very, very closely together. We step in for each other if need be, and there's just so much involved, and they're so nervous and scared.
Yeah. Yeah, that fear factor is something to overcome, and
Right.
it's okay to be afraid, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about your role in genetic testing and how that works through the Comprehensive Breast Center. What do you do specifically?
Well, first of all, each woman, when they go to women's imaging for their yearly mammogram, they're to be offered what we have is a genetics tablet, and it has questions on it for them to answer about their personal history, their family history, and just a bunch of different questions for them to answer to assess if they may be a candidate for either high-risk care or genetic testing. And they go into that information goes into a portal. I follow that quite frequently through the day, and then I give a call to contact these ladies and offer them if they would be at a increased risk for genetic testing, or if their teracoustic score is high for, to come in so we can monitor them more closely.
Yeah, Dr. Clark was talking about that scoring system
Yes.
And how comprehensive it is based upon really survey questions. It's amazing.
Well, it really is. And then the women that come in and do have breast cancer, if they have a family history as well, we also do genetic testing on them as well. And a lot of it has to do with if they have family members, children, grandchildren, aunts, sisters, whatever, that may want to, have their cells tested because of that family link there, and so they could be tested if there would be a mutation. They could be tested and be closely monitored as well ahead of time.
Deb, when that diagnosis comes, especially with genetic testing, you're generally dealing, or often dealing, I guess is a better way to put it, often dealing with women who typically wouldn't be coming for mammograms as often. And I guess I'm not phrasing that correctly, but these are women who the genetic testing have identified as higher risk candidates. I guess that's a better way to put it.
Yeah, we do get a lot of women that are higher risk, and I can tell you in the last couple of years, just having a lady or a woman on a higher risk protocol, we have caught cancers very early that we might not have caught years ago, and we're able to, get the patients treated and basically survive a diagnosis that could otherwise be devastating if it wasn't caught at an early stage. So the high risk screening has been a game changer in getting early diagnosis with breast cancers.
Because if the cancer's there, and it's only going to grow and get worse. And if you discover it further along in the process, it's already had a chance to establish
And
itself.
different cancers grow at different rates. So if you're catching a highly aggressive cancer at a very early rate, you have a better chance of seeing a woman survive as opposed to 20 years ago when they were coming in and we were catching them in late stages and their prognosis wasn't as good as it is today.
Yeah, yeah. That being the case, and the treatment's getting so much better because you're catching it earlier, your job becomes a little bit different then in terms of helping them to get through a process that can and used to more often involve really devastating surgeries. Now, if you can catch it early enough, you can have a smaller procedure and therefore not have to contend with it for as long or through as complicated a process as before.
Exactly. And again, if you catch it early enough, sometimes surgery isn't the answer up front. Sometimes we're catching early cancers where chemotherapy is the first line of defense, where, again, 20 years ago, they would not have had the same outcome. So
Yeah, yeah. Is radiation still a big part of that formula as well, or not as
Radiation
much?
is a big part of it. I don't know if you guys will talk to Dr. Chitty, but it's come a long way too since, I first got involved, and it's very tailored to the woman and the genetic component of the tumor itself too. Treating breast cancer has become so individual to each lady as opposed to the standard of everybody fit in one box not that long ago.
Yeah, yeah. Radiation is very targeted too, isn't
Very
it?
targeted.
Yeah, yeah. And for someone to have to go through that, there's no easy way to go through any of it.
No.
And it is a very, very frightening thing to have to go through. Dawn, you said something a couple of moments ago that I thought was interesting, and we need to point out again to folks, is that when someone goes through the genetic testing, you're also interested in family members,
Yes.
daughters, nieces, everybody in the family, really.
Even men.
And
yes,
men, too.
And boys, yes, because some of those mutations can predispose men to prostate cancer,
Oh,
things of that nature. And men do get breast cancer, so it's not limited to women.
yeah, there was
really
a
isn't.
pretty high-profile story of a gentleman who got genetic testing just a couple of weeks ago. I saw it on a TV screen, and he had gone through the process. He was a football coach, and he'd gone through the process after the genetic testing involving his sister, and here it turned out he did have breast cancer. Yeah.
Well, I see the numbers of men that come through our office. It is increasing. It really is.
Yeah, that's interesting because we wouldn't think that men would be having to contend with something like that. But it's fascinating to me how the research seems to indicate things that enable more people to get screened and
Yes.
therefore more cancers to get caught.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So that's all going to be wonderful. Are you both going to be at the candle bar?
Yes.
We will both be at the candle
Yes.
bar.
The whole team's going to
whole
be
team.
there.
will be
We
there.
will all be there.
Yeah, yeah. And you're not going to make a candle? Oh, yes, you are.
We'll see what Annie says.
Yes.
It's going to be happening on Monday, and that will be at the Philly Street Candle Bar at 8th and Philadelphia Streets, and the whole team is going to be there. Breast health experts, people will get to create their own custom candle and hear directly from the team. And in a setting like that, you've been in these sorts of settings before where it's formal or rather informal, and people might feel a little more comfortable around others asking questions. It's interesting to me that when events such as this happen, the questions that people have might not be things that we've really considered, but they're legitimate concerns, aren't they?
Exactly. Like we'll have questions about diet. How do I manage my diet? I believe Lori Smith, our dietitian, will be available to answer questions like that. I don't have the money to pay for a mammogram, or I don't have the insurance coverage. We'll have Megan Schneider there too. She's our social worker to answer those questions. So yeah, we do get those questions. So to have the team there to be able to answer them is, I think, very good thing for the community.
I think it's interesting as well, and Dawn, you know this as well, that a question that goes to one person for one specific reason, one of the others on the team can chime in as well.
Absolutely. And we do. And we do.
You get the whole perspective then.
We do, yes. And no question. I mean, don't be afraid to ask any questions,
Yeah.
because no question is silly, or if you feel it's dumb, don't feel that way.
No, absolutely. These are really serious concerns, and to get them answered in that setting, it's free health advice. So
Absolutely.
Why would you not take that?
Exactly.
All right, so terrific. That is going to be happening on Monday. Now you can go to irmc.org/2025 and see the event, Light the Way Breast Cancer Awareness Candle Event. It's happening at 6 p.m. at the Philly Street Candle Bar. There is a QR code right there that you can scan in order to register for it. You can also just give a call to 724-357-7188. There you go, 357-7188. I had a little prism there that I couldn't read that. And you can register that way. But we'd love for you to be there. And of course, the Love of Life 5K on Saturday. That is such a great event, isn't it?
It really
Oh,
is.
it really is. Heather Reed and her group of ladies have worked so hard to make this a successful event. I think they're up to like 580 some, and lucky number 600 will win a special prize. So if you haven't registered, register to now.
Wow. So they around 20 more participants, registrants, and number 600,
Yeah.
that's the winner. Beautiful. Ladies, thank you so much for coming in
Thank
to
you.
visit with us today. We appreciate that so much. It wasn't as painful as you thought, huh, Dawn? The Comprehensive Breast Center team at IRMC, they're here for you, ladies. Mammo Mondays are still available, correct?
Correct. Walk-in Mondays.
Walk in, and you don't have to have an appointment to get your mammogram. And do yourself and your family a great, great big favor. All right, it is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. It's 8:24, just a couple of moments away from Boomer Sports, and then Matt is with us from the WCCS newsroom. In our next half hour here on Indiana in the Morning, we had a guest scheduled. Unfortunately, they had to pull out. So unless Dawn wants to stick around and talk more,
Oh, we have patience. We have to get back to the office.
oh, is that
Thanks
what
for
it is?
offering.
And Dr. Billamoria might be a little upset if we don't show up.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't want to make Dr. Billamoria
No.
upset. Yeah, good point. Good point. All right, we'll excuse you. We'll do just our regular health cycle in our next half hour. It's Indiana in the Morning on WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Sports Minute. As a former defensive back, head coach Aaron Glenn certainly knows how to backpedal, but there's no way to run away from the stench of his Jets offense. So